I like it. You're from Cedar Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Scott was saying you enrolled early. So when your first season, how old were you? 17?
17, yeah.
Okay, so this is your third year.
Yes.
You're what, 19?
Mm-hmm. 20. I just turned 20.
You're like the experienced voice on the team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell the girls, like maybe who hear their first year, about kind of the postseason and the difference in that, and just playing with the season on the line?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think one thing I would tell them is just to treat it like another match. I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in like, you know, like the pressure or like, oh, it's like NCAAs, like there's like so much on the line, defending the title and all these different things. But I think it's really important to just like treat it like it's another match. And obviously it's a great opportunity for us to like go out there against Pepperdine this weekend and go get another win. And it's going to be a tough match. So I think like, you know, being I guess one of the more experienced players on the team now, you know, telling some of the freshmen would be, you know, just treat it like it's another match and really just go out there, enjoy yourself, and, you know, the pressure is what makes it fun. So,
what about like, you know, being a homegirl? Like, what do you tell the new girls off the court? Like, you show them around town, or?
Yeah. So I think one thing about like our team this year is we're all so close. Like, I just like love all the girls and we get along really well. So I think like we all hang out a lot and, you know, just go around Austin, and yeah, so I do like show them around a little bit, and yeah, it's nice.
What are some go-to spots?
We love like Cabo Bob's, a lot of us, on Guad, and yeah, I mean there's some other spots too, but that's one of our favorites.
Well, do you guys feel like you guys are peaking at the right time, you know, coming into this tournament?
Yeah, for sure. You know, just kind of like looking at the season as a whole, like there were a lot of ups and downs. We had a few losses that hurt and were like disappointing, but when we look at it now, like everyone's starting to play better. Everyone's like, you know, we can see everyone peaking. Everyone's game is improving, and the last couple matches that we played, like you can really see like our whole team is really coming together at the right time. So.
What's the best part about being a hometown kid and getting to play for UT?
Yeah, so I really wanted to come to UT when I was looking at colleges and being recruited. I knew it was great for academics, good tennis program, and so I feel like, you know, like there's so much pride in playing for UT for me, just being from like around Austin area. So yeah, I think that's one of the best things about playing here for me.
How nice is it going to be at home again?
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously we're like the 8th seed this year, so it was a little bit of a close call. Like I remember when we were doing the selection show, we were like a little nervous, like, oh, are we going to be 8 or 9? But I think we were all really happy to be able to host again this year for this 3rd round too. So yeah, it's definitely exciting to be able to play in front of the home crowd.
I know you guys don't really know it the other way around, obviously, but how much does that help getting to host and just not having to travel and all that?
Oh yeah, it helps so much for sure. Like it's so different to play in like this atmosphere when we have so many fans cheering for us. When you play away matches, it's like obviously the opposite, the other way around. And you know, it can obviously be harder because sometimes like those playing in like your home atmosphere can make like such a big difference. Like you have people cheering for you every point, and you know, like the Texas culture is famous for like, you know, Texas fight and like the support from all the fans. So obviously like playing at home is going to make a big difference for us for sure this weekend.
You played Pepperdine 2 years ago for the time.
Yeah.
What do you remember those guys, and is it kind of like, man, we're seeing these guys in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Does that add to the motivation or anything?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like just like any other match, there's going to be pressure, but that's like what makes it exciting. And like 2 years ago when we played them too, it was honestly a battle. Like every single match, every line was so tough, like really close matches. The level of tennis was so high. So I think just like, you know, going into this weekend, like expecting that every position, doubles or singles, whatever it is, we need to expect like a really tough fight, and just, yeah, being prepared to like fight and do whatever it takes to win this weekend.
And when y'all, this last weekend, y'all did sensational getting the sweeps. Does that build confidence going to the next round when y'all do sweep a team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's obviously a different feeling when you're winning like a match 4-3 when it's like so tight and like, you know, there were like a couple matches that didn't go your way versus when you like sweep a team 4-0. And when we played San Diego, like they obviously had like a pretty good season this year. So I think sweeping them 4-0 was definitely like huge for us to like build our confidence moving into this Pepperdine match for sure.
You and Nicole playing together for doubles, you know, just talk about the chemistry you guys have together.
Yeah, so it was hard at first because we didn't play doubles and then we were like kind of just thrown together. So I think it took us some time to like, you know, like find that groove together. But I think definitely like these last two matches for us have been a lot better. And yeah, I love playing with her. Like she's one of my good friends on the team. So yeah, I think we work well together. And as like the last match went, I think we're starting to play better and better together. So I'm really excited for that too.
How has your first year been in Austin? You know, before we get to tennis, you know, off the tennis court, what have you liked about Austin? And how different is it from Germany? What's been your favorite thing about moving here?
It's a great question. So I moved here last year in August, and to be honest, it was a culture shock. Like it was so different. Like I'm coming from Bremen, which is like a small city in Germany, not too many people. And coming to Austin, it's so diverse, so many people, so many things are going on, such a busy city, so many things to do. So I had to get used to that, but I really love that about Austin. There's always something to do, and it's such a fun city, so I really enjoy it.
You could handle the 105 degrees in August?
Well, I thought I can, but actually I was kind of dying in the sun. It was really hot.
You know, Nicole, how do you guys like alleviate the pressure of, you know, another round and, you know, trying to just, you know, get closer and closer to the ultimate goal?
Well, you know, I think like having pressure is like a privilege, so it's what makes the sport so nice and so exciting. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to go out there on Saturday and play against Pepperdine. I'm really excited about the match, and I think we have great chances.
When you were going through the process of recruiting and all that, how did UT get on your radar, and what was the final sell to get you here?
Well, to be honest, I was the one who reached out first to Howard. I was really interested in UT. I visited two other schools, UCF and Miami, last year in March, and just coming here to UT, to see UT, meeting Howard and the girls and seeing the facilities just catch me, and I really wanted to come to UT.
And how much they had already won a couple national championships?
How
much did that kind of inspire you to want to come here and do the same?
Yeah, actually a lot. Like I was impressed. That's actually what grabbed my attention about UT, seeing that they won a national championship, and then when I was about to commit, they were like already playing in the NCAA tournament, and I mean, obviously they did great last year and won again.
And how does it feel to kind of be in those shoes now?
I think it's a great thing. You know, being on a team that did so well the last couple of years just shows what an amazing team we have and the amazing opportunities we have here at UT. And I'm just excited to see what we can do this year.
Had you been on a team, like a tennis team before, or is this the first time?
Well, I was practicing in an academy in Germany, so I was living a lot with like other tennis players. And I was actually playing for a club in Germany. So I kind of got like some of the team atmosphere, but it's definitely different to like being on the tour and playing on your own, traveling with the coach and being one-on-one.
How have like these girls who've been here a while, how have they helped you kind of adapt to, you know, tennis and to just university life?
I think they did a good job. So when I came here, I was for sure a little bit lost because there were like so many changes for me and things I had to get used to. And then they did a great job to like communicate with me, show me around, and just make sure that I'm doing good.
Do you feel any pressure as a freshman to come in here and play a pivotal part, with the doubles team? They usually gets the momentum going. You guys get that point. You guys to be you and Michaela be part of that. You feel pressure?
I wouldn't say it's pressure. It's more like excitement to do like well and perform for the team. For sure, it's maybe a little bit harder for freshmen because you're not used to college tennis, and it's different than playing on the tour, because you don't just compete for yourself, but for your teammates and for the university. So it's just an amazing feeling to compete for a team. That makes sense.
How do you feel you're playing right now? I mean, this past week you lost the first of it, you came back, dominantly on the second, and you didn't finish. But how do you feel you're playing? Feel like you're playing?
I'm definitely feeling good on the court at the moment, especially since I clinched them at the final match in Kansas, which was awesome. Like, I enjoyed that moment so much with the team. So I'm just so pumped and excited about what's coming now this weekend. And I'm just really happy to be on the court on Saturday.
Based on the weather, it might rain Saturday, so you might play indoors. How big an adjustment is that for you or for any player to play indoors compared to out, or is it?
It's probably, maybe it would be an advantage to go indoors, maybe not. I think whatever it will be, if we go indoors or stay outdoors, we are well prepared. We're a team that's playing well indoors as well. It's like, I'm coming from Germany. I'm used to playing on indoor courts like half of the season. So I think I'm good with both, and also the rest of the team.
Would you rather play the Pepperdine outdoors because of the heat and weather down, or would you rather go indoors?
I think that doesn't matter. I think both works.
Coach, university tennis is such an international affair, and as usual, you have a lot of international kids. What do you think the key for them adapting so quickly, like not just the tennis, but off the court and the classroom? What's the key to that, you think?
I think what you just said, your question suggests something that is really a big deal, is all of us know daughters, nieces, nephews, cousins that go away to college from Dallas to Austin or to Los Angeles, and there's that curve, right? The food's different, we don't have friends, we got to make friends. It's a challenge, and of course, in my view, it's exponentially harder with international kids, particularly, pardon me, whose first language isn't English, and there's some culture stuff and what have you, and so I think you asked about how. I think one thing that I would give myself a fair amount of credit for, and trust me, I don't give myself a lot of credit, is I'm pretty good at. I've got good antennae and making the landing soft, just with caring for them, which sort of isn't the hat of the tennis coach per se, but the hat of a surrogate father or big brother or something like that.
How much does it help you being South African, having that kind of international flavor?
Maybe, maybe there's an element of compassion and empathy from having walked in those shoes as well. I can remember being a freshman in January at Pepperdine and just everything feeling so overwhelming. So there's no question I've walked in those shoes, but that's part of the job of the coach, or at least the program that I'm running. Yeah.
And finally, before Nicole, specifically, how has she adapted to life here, and kind of how has she improved over the course of the school year?
Kieran or Rivkin?
Oh, sorry. Rivkin.
No, sorry. Good. Rivkin. Rivkin is just a lovely, lovely person. But Rivkin definitely, I feel like when she came in August, felt like she was coming on this magic carpet ride to some Taj Mahal. And the landing for her, I think, was sort of rough in the sense that everything was different for her. And I think Nicole and I, in terms of our relationship, it went back and forth with giving and taking. I'm pushing her and challenging her to sort of adapt a little bit, and then equally asking what she needs. But what's very interesting with her, Nicole is actually one of the better players in my view in college tennis. She hasn't necessarily performed like that earlier in the year, but in the last, I'd say, 2 months, she has gotten, much more both fit in the culture and what we're doing and all of those things. And I've just seen a happier and much more successful kid as a result. Yeah.
And Coach, you're very familiar with Pepperdine, especially playing them a couple years ago as well.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to the most with this matchup?
You know, it's going to be, at this stage of the NCAA tournament, all the matchups are incredibly, the margins are very thin. You know, looking forward to is a very, very competitive and well-coached and tough team that we're going to face. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. That's sort of why we do this, is to challenge ourselves to be our best. And I think our ladies are going to need to show up in some version of their better selves, their better tennis selves, if we're going to be successful Saturday.
Coach, you guys feel like you're peaking at the right time?
There's no question relative to how this year has been, right near the end here, there's no question in my mind that the team is playing better and better. I thought the performance against San Diego was emblematic of that.
And going back to what you were just talking about a second ago with the international aspect of this, the two players we just spoke with, you have one who wanted to stay home and one who wanted to come, you know, thousands of miles away to play here. What does that say about the program that you guys have built here?
I think it says that the program, in a sense, is a pot of gold, and it's sought after to come practice and train. I think that some of the recent successes of some of our players beyond just the college sphere, I know, of course, Peyton Stearns is in under a year already well inside the top 100 in the world. I mean, I think that's a big lure for people. But it says more also about this university. The University of Texas is not a national brand, it's an international brand. And not only in terms of how it's viewed, but also when folks come and see the substance, it really stands out. And so I'm lucky to be working here, that's for sure.
How much does playing Pepperdine a couple years ago play a factor into this?
I mean, you know, I don't know that it does play a huge factor. I mean, there are some nuanced things. We have a transfer from Pepperdine that is playing on our team now in Taya Pachkaleva, so I'm sure that will be, you know, there'll be some layers there. In terms of the players that played against Pepperdine in that national championship match, we probably have, you spoke to one, Malika was on that team and Charlotte was on that team, but Pepperdine's team I think only has one sort of survivor, so to speak. So it's a new match, it's a new season, it's a new circumstance, but I am really excited and looking forward to seeing what we've got.
And seeing your girls come out with the sweep against San Diego, how much of an uplift is that for this Sweet 16?
Definitely very good. San Diego has a very good team. They've had a lot of good wins this season. It's not a program that in the last several years has been a name brand per se in college. This was a breakout year for them. And so it wasn't so much the win as the manner in which we were able to win that was impressive to me.
You know, Coach, obviously with each round there's more pressure. How do you alleviate that pressure for the players, or do you maybe turn it up a little bit more?
I think listen, the goal is always to take pressure off. But I think just like your own lives, right? We have worries, we have anxieties. They come and they go, sort of like clouds in the sky. The key item is to be really present for the game. You know, that anxiety will be there afterwards or before, or it will dissipate. But the whole trick to performing is how you're going to show up for the game, what part of you, and also how present you can be, you know, not looking back, not looking too far forwards.